From Flemington Speedway in Flemington, New Jersey, the Engine Magic 60 for the Hooters Formula Cup cars. The Hooters Cup late models will be coming out with the Engine Magic 100 at the completion of our Formula Cup race. Cars are getting lined up to go back to green flag action after a spectacular crash in the short chute between turns 1 and 2. And one of those cars involved John Jernigan. The car suffered heavy damage, but the styrofoam blocks put in as a safety feature here at Flemington Speedway doing their job. Both drivers involved in that crash did walk away. Your leader is Sam Schmidt in car number 5, the second fastest qualifier. Started 4th on the field, took over on lap 3 in car number 5, and has led the entire distance from there. We are working lap number 43, so we'll be beginning lap 44 when we go back to green flag action after a red flag on the speedway. Anthony Lazzaro, car number 1. The Jackaroo Barbie Sauce car number 1 is in the second spot. He's the defending champion of the Hooters Formula Cup Series. And Alan May in car number 99 holding down the third spot. Mark Bishardi, we talked about the condition of these tires. They've been under red. You talked about them cooling the tires down. Where is Alan May going to fit into this equation with Sam Schmidt and Anthony Lazzaro up in front of him as we get the 1-to-go signal?
Well, right now it seems like maybe he's got what he needed. He needed to catch up with the leaders. A caution would have done it. The red flag has done it. It's going to be interesting to see who can get the heat back in the tires quicker than the other ones.
And they're working hard to get the heat back in those tires as you see them working the cars back and forth on the back straightaway. Now they fall into single file formation for the restart as they are now in turn number 3. They'll be rolling through the short chute between turns 3 and 4 as the pace car is in. Sam Schmidt picks up the pace in car number 5. Tony Boswell waves the green flag, and we are back racing with the Hooters Formula Cup cars with 43 laps in the books. Anthony Lazzaro running second in car number 1, trying to stay with the race leader. And Mark Bishardi, it looks like Alan May. It looks like he's going to stay with Anthony Lazzaro, and this could develop into one whale of a battle.
Well, I would love to see all 3 of them get up there and race together, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen right now. As we proved earlier, it's easy to catch the leader, but it's hard to get around him, which is what Alan May is going to have a problem with, getting around Lazzaro, and Lazzaro is going to have trouble getting around Schmidt.
Mark, with 3 caution flags, we haven't seen one thing that we thought would play a role in the outcome of this race, and that's lap traffic. The race leaders have pretty much had clear racetrack in front of them throughout the event.
I don't think lap traffic is going to play much of a role in this race, and I don't think the tires that they thought was going to be a big role in this race because they haven't had enough green flag laps to really heat the tires up.
Sam Schmidt out in front in car number 5, and Mark, it looks like he's opened up about a 5-car length advantage now over Anthony Lazzaro.
He's just real smooth. He's driving the line he wants to drive. Nothing is taking him out of sync, and Lazzaro's just having trouble catching him.
It looks like a lot of the drivers are taking a little bit of a lower line down the short chute between turns 1 and 2 because we had an awful lot of styrofoam debris up there, and I don't think the drivers are taking any chances. But just as we say that Sam Schmidt has pulled out to a big lead, Anthony Lazzaro has reloaded the Jackaroo Barbie Sauce Van Diemen number 1, and he is closing in on the leader.
We'll have to wait and see whether he can get around him. It may be the same scenario we had before where he just scrubs off too much speed trying to get around him.
Anthony Lazzaro in the red, yellow, and blue Jackaroo Barbie Sauce number 1 Van Diemen. Sam Schmidt, the black number 5 Arnett Sunglasses Simpson Racing Van Diemen. Out of Long Beach, California, Anthony Lazzaro out of Ackworth, Georgia. The number 1 car, they're battling it out as they begin to pull away from the third place car. The number 99 car of Alan May out of Dallas, Texas. The Colmet D'Agostino Racing Van Diemen. We're now working lap number 50, Mark, and we've got 10 laps to go in this one as the leaders begin to work around some of the back markers in the field.
That would probably be the only car that they'll come up on as the leaders, the way it looks to me. That car is way off the pace compared to everybody else. This race was originally supposed to be 100 laps, but these cars couldn't run 100 laps on the gas tanks that they have. They would run out of fuel before the race was over, so that's why we're running a 60-lap race tonight.
Run out of fuel and still have about 2 to 3 gallons left in those 5-gallon fuel tanks. because this race is relatively flat. There's not much banking here, and with the G-forces as they go around the turns, all that fuel wants to stay in the right-hand side of the tank and not be coming into the pickup tube.
Right, they have a center pickup on these cars, and some of them are wanting to try to change it to get a lower pickup on it, but they couldn't change it for this race.
The lap's beginning to wind down. Now less than 10 to go as they're working lap number 54. Sam Schmidt, your leader in car number 5. Anthony Lazzaro, car number 1, running in second. Anthony has been able to get close, but he really hasn't been able to get the nose of car number 1 up underneath that black number 5 of Sam Schmidt. Working turn number 2 as they head down the back straightaway here at Flemington Speedway. This track has been in operation racing automobiles since 1915. For a number of those years, it was dirt. It was paved in 1992. And now we're seeing the Hooters Formula Cup cars, and in a few minutes we will see the Hooters Cup late models in action, as you'll get to see the top late model stars in the country battle it out for 100 laps, and that'll be coming up immediately after our Hooters Formula Cup series. So Sam Schmidt, your leader in car number 5. Anthony Lazzaro, do you think Anthony may be trying to measure him up a little bit for maybe a last lap pass?
He could be, or else Sam Smith's just starting to open it up. He may have been saving the race car till the end in case Lazzaro tried anything on him. Now he's just pulling away.
And David Elliott, a little bit of smoke coming out of his car as he works around the speedway. Sam Schmidt going around the outside of lap traffic. And Marky, it looks like we've got 2 laps to go. It looks like that Schmidt has been able to hit that lap traffic to his advantage and get Lazzaro at a disadvantage, trying to work his way around that traffic as he is pulled. We've got trouble in turn number 1. A car spinning up in turn 1. And it looks like it is the number 96 car, Jarrett Schrader.
Well, Jarrett had trouble in practice today. That was one of the cars we talked about that got into the foam in practice. They were able to put the car back together and come out and race tonight.
And one car putting an awful lot of smoke out there. It looks like that may be the 95 car of Mark Cruz, and he was involved in that incident on the front straightaway, was able to pull away from it, but he was able to get around that, and some smoke coming out of there. I'm not sure if he might have been putting some oil down on the speedway, causing the 96 car of Schrader to spin in turn 1.
Well, as slick as this racetrack is, they say it's not very abrasive at all. Any kind of oil or fluids on the racetrack would cause anybody to spin out.
And what this has done, it's going to set up a 3-lap dash to the finish. 57 laps in the books. The last 10 laps of Hooters Cup races, whether it be the Formula Cup or the Hooters Cup late models, the last 10 laps are run under green. Before that, the laps do count under the caution. So they are staging them up for a 3-lap dash to the finish. Sam Schmidt is on the point. Anthony Lazzaro in second. And it looks like that Alan May, the 99 car, in third. Kyle Konzer runs fourth in car number 27. And moving up into the 5th spot will be the number 20 car of Mimo Gidley out of San Rafael, California, in the DSTP Motorsports Van Diemen. One thing that I was watching as the leaders were working through lap traffic, Mark Bouchard, it looked like Sam Schmidt could hit that traffic just right and not have to get off the throttle to get around that lap traffic, whereas Lazzaro was catching it at a bad time and maybe had to crack the throttle a little bit.
Well, that's the luck of racing. It also, your leader always has the advantage with the move-over flag. Those cars know that the leader is coming up behind them. They may not know that Anthony Lazzaro is there. They don't really have mirrors on these cars that they can really see. They can see beside them, but not really that far behind them.
So the field forming up once again for the restart. The 96 car of Jarrett Schrader did not hit anything up in turn 1. The car did a quick 360 and he kept going, so he did not get into those styrofoam barriers, so not much cleanup needed for this one. So the field is under caution behind the pace car. They are forming up for a 3-lap dash to the finish. And how do you think this one is going to work out, Mark Bouchardi?
It's going to be tough on Lazzaro to get around Schmidt. The way Schmidt's been getting these restarts, he's been real smooth. He hasn't made a mistake so far tonight. So Lazzaro may be pressing to try to get around Schmidt. So we may see something exciting here. Lazzaro's going to have to press the envelope to try to get around him.